Good morning. It's Jonathan Barratt with the morning debrief for the 23rd of February, Tuesday the 23rd. An interesting night, in fact, pretty quiet night last night. Not a lot really happening. There's still more fallout of what's happening in Greece in terms of the sovereign debt issue and where Goldman Sachs was involved. We had a little bit of positive news in terms of the price of coal. That certainly saw things move a little bit higher, particularly could be a power shortage in China and or energy shortage. The other key thing I think was with the grain market, where we saw the grains quite a lot higher on the back of bad weather, which might stall some of the plantings. But overall, I think an interesting night, but also setting ourselves up, I think, for some good trades. Anyway, let's have a look at a recap of last night's events. Okay, obviously the Dow is closed now, and we're closed down 19 points at 10,382, and that was obviously a short, sharp sell-off. Most of the night we're only up a few points, but a little bit of a sell-off towards the close. The S&P was down 1.16 at 1108, and the Nasdaq off 1.84 at 2,242. So equity prices are just weaker towards the close, and obviously followed that trend in Europe, where the Stoic was down 15. The FTSE was down 6, the DAC down 33, and the CAC down 12. So if anything there, following on that sentiment from, or that lead from Europe, the US market under pressure. As you can see, not a lot of news there to get around, and hence the market pretty much traded in its range. One of the things that did grab my attention was the US commercial real estate index. That increased by 4.1% in a record monthly advance. And I think coming into revaluations for the end of Q1, I think it's a very positive sign, because that will actually sort of help placate those banks which are faced with significant write-downs in terms of the commercial debt which they have on real estate. So if the prices go up, it just alleviates some of that fear. So I think that's quite a positive thing. And the other thing that I saw, or that took out of that, obviously was what's happened in Greece. Euro's worst to come. Let's see what happens from that. Obviously, we've got to the end of the month before anything really untoward comes out of that. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's have a look at the general market now, and just move that away and move that up here. Obviously, we're talking on the Falcon here. Let's lead with the currencies. The dollar index in itself, as we can see, it's trading in an interesting range. We came down, trading sideways. Look, keep an eye on a lookout on a break through that 80.48 and even as low as that 80.40. And if we take out that area, then we could see a measured move that sees it back to 80. So, excuse me, keep an eye on that one, because it can actually occur. Now, how did that affect the other currencies? And as you can see, that I've got a bit of a feeling towards a weaker US dollar. There's that euro. It's looking quite punchy. You can buy it on a break through that 136.50 without no problem, obviously, and then your stop goes below that area. On the Aussie, same sort of scenario you can see unfold, where we're buying on a break of 90.26. So I think that in mind itself is a good trade, because we've spent so much time here, and a break to higher, probably see it into a new and higher range. So I like that. So US dollar slightly weaker. That will help some of the commodities. Just having a look at the crude market. And as you can see, crude in itself just staying in this range, takes out that top side onwards and upwards. Seems like a lay-down misere in a lot of these ones. And you can also see, although copper came back a little bit, came back from its highs there, I think it still looks quite robust, and don't mind actually looking at copper on a dip. We are long copper, as you're aware. Gold also took a bit of a fall last night, 11.14 at the moment, and let's see what happens there. I think that if anything, we're just going sideways there for the time being. So we are long, as you know, at 11.06 and a quarter. So we're just going to stick with that trade at the moment. The local market, and local market, there we are, 47.13. Expect that to open topside, and let's see how that operates. A break below that 46.70 sets the cats amongst the pigeons, and probably see it a little bit lower. Let's just see. But I think some of that positive energy news out of China, I think, should be quite supportive. Having a look at, I guess, the softs now, or sorry, the Dow before we go on to the softs. And you can see it's pretty much the same and that little rejection there, let's see, it just might be a little bit of a blip back to follow this trend line, which the market seems to be following quite nicely. Onto the softs, and just quickly, you can see great movement in corn last night, very strong. Same with soya, and same with wheat. So those trades are certainly holding true to form, and actually like what's happening there. As we mentioned, some of the snow conditions in North America I find a little bit hard for them to put their planting in, and that could cause just a little bit of a shortage or a little bit of a blip. So let's see how all that unfolds. Of the news, economic news tonight, we've got RBA today, RBA Battleino speaking, and that'll reiterate, obviously, reiterate the reserves feeling in terms of interest rates. We've got the conference board leading index as well a little bit later. We've got in the US, obviously, the S&P Case-Shiller home prices, consumer confidence, and the API data in inventories. So that in itself, I think, could be quite an interesting day. A little bit of trade data out in Japan, which sort of could and would, if it could, move things. All right, okay. Now, I guess that's really about just a brief wrap, but just to reiterate the trades we're looking at, a break on that Aussie to the top side through that 90.26. Oil, I don't mind breaking on a break to new highs as well. And we're still long grains, and gold. So let's see how it all travels. But that's about it from me. I hope you have a good day and happy trading.